Hello, my freaky darlings, and welcome to Ghostpia Season 1. I was so generously given a key for this off of Keymailer. That will be in the description below. You will see some glitching on the screen that is intentional. It is how they want to tell this story. They also warn at the very beginning that there are violent scenes. There's not so many in the first chapter, so we don't have to worry about that for this video so much. Not that it bothers me at all. Um, so because there was an interruption over on Twitch, we are starting again from chapter 1, and every time I move my cursor, it moves a picture, which I think is a nice little touch. This is kind of like a movie shot in stills. It's not like a traditional visual novel where your choices will have an impact on the story of any kind. But I am very fascinated to know where this goes. So, starting from episode 1, there's a new townsperson in town. And it's a nice touch, but you can't see it because I'm my little VTuber's blocking it. There's a silhouette of somebody walking. It's been a long journey. It's dark by the time I get out of the station. A cold breeze blows and suddenly I want to go home. This is a ghost town. It's certainly lonely enough to have earned that name. Despite my reluctance, I quickly remember why I came here. To fulfill her wish. It's a promise I have to keep. I whisper to myself, I've come to see you. Oh yeah, the credits. I forgot about the credits. I really do like this oil pastel art style that they've got going on. It makes it look really interesting. And you can tell it's set up more like a anime set in stills because they titled their chapters episodes instead of actual chapters. It's been my dream to dream. Lately, I've been sleeping all the time. But I haven't dreamed at all. I want to dream. I want to escape from reality and go elsewhere. But no matter how much I sleep, the world of dreams just won't welcome me. Have I ever even had a dream? I'm not quite sure myself. And thus I'm on the precipice of awakening. My body slowly floats up from the darkness of dreamless sleep, reminding me that I do have a body, and I'm not just a part of the puddle of dream goo. But I want to sleep longer. I grab a hold of Sleep's tail and try to sink myself back into the goo. When I let out a yawn and open my eyelids, I recognize the sound of a ringing phone. So that's what woke me up. That trifling realization sent sparks flying within my brain, instantly casting aside my drowsiness. I've woken up, once again. My heart feels cold, heavy, as if someone had poured icy water into the empty hole in my chest. I look outside the window. It's almost dawn. Everyone's starting to go home. The air is hurried and restless, but also somehow satisfied and overflowing with hope. And then my heart gets another degree colder. Let's go. I quickly grab a change of clothes, put on my coat, and head to the door leading out of my one-room apartment. I wince at the cold sensation of the metal doorknob when I turn it. Once I walk through the hall and down the stairs, the door there leads outside. Got some beautiful scenes on it. It's the same outside as ever. Thick snow covers the ground, like always. Good thing I brought my boots. A cursory glance at a nearby brick fence reveals graffiti in a language foreign to me. Behind it, in the distance, are buildings covered in pastel, candy-like colors, except now they're faded, dull, and ambiguous. There aren't many tall buildings. What does stand out, though, is a cylinder thrusting forth from the middle of town, as well as the peculiar silhouette of a church in the distance. It almost looks like it's got an onion on top. In any case, I've got the feeling that this isn't where I belong. This is a ghost town. Someone decided it'd be called that. Or rather, that's all anyone's ever called it. This is a ghost town, after all. There's not much else here, so if you're not going to name the town after its inhabitants, what else are you going to call it? It's ghosts that live here. Or rather, that's all anyone's ever called them. I think that's the only thing they're comfortable calling themselves, since they live forever and are active at night. They really are ghost-like in that sense. But I guess since the like part is off-putting, they've just settled on straight up calling themselves ghosts. Naturally, I'm a ghost myself. As dawn breaks and the ghosts go home, I head out into the ghost town. The horizon's starting to turn blue, so I'm sure it'll be dawn soon enough. I love this time of night, especially the sky. I do realize that I'm kind of basic for liking something so commonplace as the sky. But watching the pitch black expanse gradually fade to navy, then to blue, makes me feel somehow both excited and relaxed. I take a step forward and get confused. Why was I sounding so gloomy? I often space out and lose track of what I was thinking. I've been like this for longer than I can remember. I feel like a broken machine. If only I could keep these sad thoughts away. Not once have I ever been able to stop them. I start digging through my memory and try to remember what started that gloomy train of thought and walk outside, half asleep. My feet just started walking on their own. Someone once said that the subconscious part of our mind is larger than the conscious one. I passed through the small gate of the similarly small apartment complex. There are many footprints left in the snow. But they're all footprints heading home, in the opposite direction that I'm headed. It seems that lonely thought has set my memory into motion. I remember now. Once again, I failed to dream. Then I got a phone call from that girl which woke me up. I couldn't sit still, so I went outside. I wish I didn't remember that. But I suppose when you've forgotten something, it's human nature to try and remember it. By the way, my little VTuber avatar is hiding the character name and a pixel art of her. Her name is Sayoko. The need to remember may not be at the top of the hierarchy of needs, but it's definitely pretty high up. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't, I muttered to myself as I tread through the snow. When I reached the road, the snow has already been cleared, making it much easier to walk. There's not another soul on the road, but I can feel the gazes from the ghosts inside of their buildings. I can't say I like it, but it's better than seeing them face to face. There are many ghosts in this town, but as someone who currently doesn't have any friends, my one and only hobby is to walk around town early in the morning like this. It's nostalgic, melancholic, and yet somewhat exciting. That's how I always feel when I go for these walks. I walk through the shabby backdrop of the city streets until I turn the corner and the scenery changes ever so slightly. I've reached the plaza in the middle of the town. There are benches placed here and there, as well as a signboard of a cafe with a full view of the plaza. But it's not exactly a place with a calm, relaxing atmosphere. And that's due to the overwhelming presence of something that's the opposite of calm and relaxing. In the center of the plaza is the indiscernible stone wreckage of what probably used to be a fountain, and sticking out of it is a gigantic metal cylinder with fins. It's been here for ages. Its silhouette is simple and clear. So too is its purpose. Destruction. Complete and utter destruction. There's no mistaking it. It's a missile. I have no way of knowing what sort of missile it is, but the fact of the matter is that it's a missile. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't know how long this town's history goes, but ever since it became a ghost town, the missile's been there apparently. Since it hasn't exploded, it's probably a dud. And strangely enough, the missile is packed with the names of the town's ghost etched all over its surface like some sort of memorial. Naturally, my name's on there too. I have no memory of writing it there, and yet there it is. Like a signature on a shady contract I've been deceived into signing. Maybe I'd be a little proud to have my name here if I liked this town, but since I don't, it doesn't make me happy at all. Instead, it makes me feel like I've been bound to this depressing place, so if anything, I find it disgusting. Sukiya kick! I take 2 or 3 steps back, get a running start, and give the missile a good kick. Specifically, I aim at the spot where my name is written. Someone speaks up from behind me. You idiot! What if it explodes? Shocked, I turn around to see a red-headed girl I recognize. She's a person, or rather a ghost, I'd rather not run into. Yeep! That's one thing I haven't forgotten. What? It's not like I did anything. She may not have done anything, but I have. So I don't know what to say. Obviously, I'm not expecting her to do anything retaliation, and it's not like I hate her or anything. But I don't know if what I've done, maybe, was some kind of taboo. Ow. So all I can do is let out a pathetic groan. Hey, wait! I turn around and make a break for it. I run shamelessly, waving around my arms and legs. Anya, that redhead, appeared right behind me, so I have no choice but to make a loop around the town that's roughly shaped like a circle in order to get back home. I try to run fast, but my body just doesn't feel like it. I keep tripping and I almost cry every time, but before I realize it, I'm back home. When I close the door behind me, I finally snap out of it. I can almost feel the wind blowing through my stomach. Now that I think about it, I haven't eaten anything in a long time. Well, it's not like I'm gonna die or anything. When I toss my coat off by the door, it starts melting from the bottom hem up. Like when an orange peel eats through a piece of styrofoam. It bubbles, melts, and forms droplets. Ugh. The boots I toss by the bed melt too, leaving behind useless heels and soles. and by the time I toss myself onto the bed, even my feet start to melt. Even ghosts feel pain. Once the skin melts off, it exposes muscle that gets dry and stiff upon contact with the air. It hurts. The smallest flicker of air in the room causes me unbearable pain, as if rubbing irritants into open wounds. Ghosts can't survive the morning sun. The reason I kept tripping over myself on the way here may have been a result of losing part of my leg muscles. Thinking about that possibility helps distract me a little from the pain. But it's not as much of a problem as it may seem. It's no big deal, really. Nothing dies in this town. Just leave it alone for a while and everything will be back to how it should be. To sleep is to temporarily lend your body to the darkness of slumber. By the time I wake up, my body will be back to normal. My legs will have healed and won't hurt anymore. Hopefully. This sure hurts. I speak up, even though I know there's nobody there to respond. Well, it'd be nice if there was someone to respond. Someone to sympathize with my pain. Maybe I'm a little lonely. Did a teardrop fall into my pillow, or was it just my imagination? My eyes fall shut before I can find out. I can see a town off into the distance. I'm heading there at full speed. To the left and to the right is nothing but an endless snow desert. Up ahead, railroad tracks stretch far into the distance. Behind me, the railroad ties blur together, which is a sign we must be going pretty fast. At this speed, I should be feeling the wind onto my skin, but I don't feel a thing on my body. It's only now that I realize I don't even have a body at all. Without a body, I exist as nothing more than a perspective that's somehow chugging along the railroad like a train. Without a body, I don't get tired, so I just aimlessly watch the scenery flow by. Once I'm about a few kilometers away from the town, I finally recognize it. That's the town I live in. That's a bit of a relief. I messed up there. Nope. There we go. At least it's not some strange unknown territory. Before long, my train self will arrive at the station. But as I gradually slow down, my body doesn't feel a thing. Not even momentum. Suddenly my perspective switches, as if someone had turned the tuning dial on an old analog radio. My new perspective is facing the doors inside a train. I'm already at the station. The doors open automatically. There stands a girl. She pulls the corners of her mouth to the sides as if to say blah before telling me, "Welcome!" Welcome? I've lived here for a long time, so I don't need anyone to welcome me. What's even going on? I try to tell her those things, but I can't speak at all. By the time I wake up, it's completely dark outside. Ghosts are nocturnal creatures, and thus the town's bustling with liveliness. No dreams again. The pain in my legs and the damage to my clothes have both vanished as if nothing had happened. I'm just a little relieved. I think I woke up much earlier than usual. I check outside the window again as part of my daily habit to see how much time is left before sunrise. We need to talk. I haven't seen that electric bulletin board before. It looks pretty haphazardly made too. There's wires poking out and duct tape stuck here and there. It's probably handmade. It's been lazily stuck on the wall of a building facing my apartment. I've got a hunch as to who put it there. Almost everything in the world can be fixed with a little duct tape. I can still vividly remember her voice, but maybe that's because I actually heard her voice just yesterday. Pring! The phone starts to ring right on cue. That's an old phone. I check to see if my socks are on and if my boots and coat are there. I comb my hair with my fingers, but it'll probably just get messy again. It's not like I've got time to fix it properly, though. I'm off. I turn the doorknob and pull hard. What? This is a new character. When I open the door, I see a ghost standing in the common area of the apartment hallway. Is she a grown-up child? Or a childish adult? By appearances, she could go either way. But if you ask me, I know she's the former. I think she's beautiful. Yoo-hoo. Even as she starts talking, she doesn't stop filing her nails. She's number 2 on my list of people I'd rather not see right now. If it's not obvious, the number 1 on the list is that red-headed girl, the ghost named Anya. Pacifica. Long time no see, Sayoko. When I hear her somewhat friendly tone, it takes everything I have to keep my mind from unraveling. Pacifica's very smart. I get the feeling that all of this was part of those girls' plans to get to me. Those two know me. Probably far longer than I've known them. I need to go on a walk. I know I can't oppose her, but I can't just not oppose her either. Listen to what I have to say, and you can go on as many walks as you like. I'm getting dizzy. Pacifica speaks softly, but has a firm fortitude. I don't think anyone can meaningfully oppose her in any way. The phone keeps ringing behind the door I just shut. It's kind of nauseating. But I'm sure you'll find what I have to say quite interesting. It's not like I don't want to hear it, but why me? Please don't get the wrong idea. I just need help. Help? Pacifica takes a step forward, closing the distance between us. My body tenses up. I can't be sure she isn't carrying a knife. Not like she isn't allowed to. Whatever. I'll just put up with it for now. It's not like I'll die or anything. As I let my thoughts run wild, I suddenly smell something sweet. Something relaxing. A new ghost has arrived. I'm going to redo that. A new ghost has arrived. Pacifica brings her face up close and whispers in my ear. It sends shivers down my spine, blowing away both the nausea and the sleepiness. A new ghost? Pacifica's breath tickles my earlobe. The tips of my toes tingle and my shoulders freeze in place. Oh yeah, I guess ghosts breathe too, huh? Shh! Not so loud. It's still a secret. Don't whisper in my ear. Like I said, not so loud. Pacifica's only whispering in my ear for secrecy's sake, but my ears are so sensitive I can't focus on what she's saying. Oh, okay, I'll listen. I'll hear you out at least. Really? Thank you. I thought you might say that. May I come into your room? Let's have a little private talk, woman to woman. Pacifica gently smiles from ear to ear like a flower blooming. I feel guilty thinking that there's nothing about me that deserves a smile like that. I've got an inferiority complex about how I'll never be able to smile like that. Those two thoughts gouge out my heart. Pardon the intrusion. Since I haven't even locked the door yet, Pacifica opens it on her own and starts to walk in, but then stops in place. Whoa. Pacifica? I mustn't forget my ninja manners. Ninja? Before she crosses the threshold into my room, Pacifica places her hands together and bows. What's up with that? I heard that this was a ninja custom. That's news to me. No way! Apparently, I'd become known as a ninja in this town without even knowing about it. That's kind of concerning in its own right, but for some reason, it feels oddly satisfying to see Pacifica blush. It's a pleasant sight, I guess. Upon entering the room, Pacifica makes a beeline for the phone and picks it up. She simply says, "Yes, it's me. Yes, that's right. Yes. Please wait. Goodbye," and then hangs up. I brought you something. Sorry, but could you boil some water? I place a pot on the stove and return to the table. Pacifica takes a bottle of instant coffee out of her handbag. She then takes out a tin of preserved biscuits. Ah. What's wrong, Sayoko? I was thinking this is what I had for my last meal, too. You mean when Anya made a mess on the crotch of her plain Jane overalls? Probably, yeah. How long ago was that? No idea. Well, I haven't had much of an appetite. It's not like I'll die anyway. My goodness! As I boil the water, I listen to Pacifica scold me, saying that I should take better care of myself and that it's not a matter of living or dying. And soon enough, 2 cups of coffee are ready. She unseals the biscuit tin with a tug of the pull tab. Seems like a fairly decent meal to me. So, about that new ghost. I didn't realize the town could even get new ghosts. Of course it can't. Or at least it shouldn't. That's what makes it such a mystery. The town has always had a set number of ghosts. 1,024 to be exact. That number's never increased nor decreased. Nobody's ever said anything about it, but I had figured it was some sort of eternal rule. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I feel like adding one more ghost wouldn't make much of a difference. Maybe someone decided 1,025 was a nicer number. She's a girl, around your age, Sayoko. I see. For some reason, my heart skips a beat. A second later, my chest feels somewhat warm, somewhat numb. In a word, I feel fidgety. So, anyway, I thought we should throw her a welcome party. Pacifica just couldn't resist laughing. It looks as if she had read my mind. It's like she knows me better than I know myself, but does she know what this feeling is exactly? We have to throw her one, especially due to the circumstances. What circumstances? The church is examining her. She'll most likely be tired once they release her, so we have to show her a fun time to make up for it. The church. The town's biggest congregation of ghosts, and it also serves as a peacekeeping organization. Headed by a priest, they do policing and politics. Thus, the priest is more like the town mayor. Very few ghosts know what goes on in the church, but Pacifica's a pretty influential ghost as far as they go, so I guess she got that information from an inside source. The church still does things like that, huh? Some sort of immigration inspection, I suppose. But is that really necessary? It sounds like they're just doing it because they want to. I hate the church. Particularly their attitude. Even after the townspeople became town's ghosts and overcame death, the church still wants to control people under the guise of politics. It's almost like the ghosts are pretending to be alive, so it's forced. I feel like there's other things that bother me about them, but the anger makes my head feel hazy. Like, yeah, my head always feels hazy, but you know what I mean. So I can't even remember what it is I'm angry about. You still hate the church, I see. Well, I do too. Those guys are poop. Church is poop! Poop is church. The two of us laugh, like two boys in uniform merrymaking while oozing with pure, unadulterated youth. Youth. That's not exactly a word I can relate to. So, Sayoka, will you help me out? Okay. I'll help if I can. Thank you. I'm so happy When Pacifica hugs me tight, my body stiffens. There's nothing I can do. I figured I needed some sort of opportunity to do this, so I've been waiting for a long, long time. I'm so happy I could talk to you like this. Pacifica talks earnestly between sobs. That's right. Now, she may act overly mature sometimes, that's all it is. An act. Everyone who's close to her knows this. Huh. I remember more than I thought. I feel happy that I remember, but it also feels odd that she's got some attachment to me. It's a swirl of emotions, like a spinning barbershop pole. Pacifica's as gentle as ever. She hasn't changed. But what about me? I feel like I've changed a little, the same way milk changes after its expiration date. A change you can smell with a single whiff. I can't go back to being me. I suppose that's how I'd describe the way I feel. I guess I was just looking for an excuse. You've always been so close. I just needed a little courage to speak out to you. Ow. There's nothing I can say. Being touched makes me feel safe. I don't want to let you go ever again. But at the same time, it also makes me anxious. After all, I have no idea how I could ever repay someone who makes me feel this happy. If I get too comfortable taking advantage of her kindness, she might start to hate me. And I don't want her to hate me. I can't find the words to say. With a simple hug, all of these feelings are revolving around inside me, and I'm just so afraid that I'll end up crushing this moment into dust. And just like that, the happiness has faded away completely, leaving nothing but coarse anxiety coursing through my heart. Am I just not used to dealing with kindness? Pacifica suddenly lets go, and for a second I fear that my worst fear had come true, but the reality is slightly different. Sorry, Sayoko, but what is it? Are you showering properly? You, kind of smell like spoiled milk? Oh. Now that you mention it, I haven't showered since the other day. Which other day? You know, when Anya spilled coffee on those ugly overalls of hers. The poop talked! Pacifica leaps backwards away from me. There's a look of fear on her face that she probably wouldn't want anyone else to see normally. Well, I mean, if nobody's gonna come see me and the hair's not humid, why bother showering? What happened to I don't want to let you go ever again? Who asked you 100-year-old poop? It's been 100 years. The very concept of a calendar has disappeared from this town, so time has become incredibly ambiguous. Individually, a day is simple to track, but as the days pile up, it's impossible to keep track of months and years. You'd have an easier time counting the sand in the desert of snow surrounding this town, one grain at a time. If you think about it, I suppose it's not normal to go this long without showering, huh? Maybe I really have changed. Am I trying to reclaim myself? Take a shower now. Okay. My fear of being separated from Pacifica turns into fear of Pacifica herself. I stop thinking, grab a towel, and head to the bathroom as quickly as possible. It's almost dawn. I don't think I've ever gone outside around that time before. The snow seems a little soft and hard to walk on, perhaps due to the rising temperature. Ah, Sayoko! Pacifica? Looks like I wasn't the only one called here. I see. I guess that makes sense. The time has come. Is it done? I wonder. I can't wait. Pacifica nods and weighs her words for a while, and then... If you can't wait, then let's hurry! Hey! I chase after Pacifica when she breaks into a run. It's my first outing at dawn. We dash as if swimming through the pristine air. Main Street looks so different compared to how it normally does. It's like a quiet, still pond. And just how a skipping stone makes ripples in a still pond, our footsteps and Pacifica's laughter break the silence. I'm excited. Not that I mind, but why are you out of breath? We take one turn off Main Street and reach a workshop garage. Anya looks at us as she sits on a garbage can placed in front of the closed shutters, swinging her legs around. Oh, hi, yo. Oh, guten Morgen. Huh? The two of us laugh when we see Anya's confused face. Anya looks to be about my age, so I don't use formal words with her. Pacifica seems to be older than me, so I've ended up using formal words with her, but not because I'm trying to keep my distance or anything. And it's not like I don't respect Anya either. Do those greetings mean anything? Not really, Poop. You starting something? This is how things usually go. Though something special's waiting just around the corner, that doesn't mean that things will suddenly change between us. Well, whatever. I'm tired, so let's get down to business. Anya sighs. Her face does look a little tired, and her posture doesn't show any enthusiasm at all either. So is it done? Is it done, or is it not? What do you think? The way her eyes light up with confidence already spoils the answer to that question. It's done! It's done! I did it! I did it! You wanna see? You wanna see it? I wanna see it. I grab Anya by the shoulder when I say that. We have both lost our cool. Anya chuckles to herself and pulls the remote out of her pocket. Time for the big reveal. I'm not making those noises. The shutters open, revealing a large box-shaped silhouette inside the dark garage. Ta-da! There it is. Our hope. Our first weapon. This one's for the books. A squarish armored vehicle. At least that's probably what it is. Wow, that's amazing, Anya. Indeed, I'm impressed. We walk inside the large, spacious garage, storing the armored vehicle in Padet's frame. I'm not a car person, but I can tell that it's a reliable machine. The armor looks like it could deflect a few bullets, and the big fat tires look like they could handle any terrain. I doubt you could get anywhere in the snow desert surrounding the city without something like this. Well, it's an honor to hear that. Thanks. Anya's an apprentice at the local town repair workshop. Though I feel like this is the first time her career skills have proven useful to us since we first got to know each other. I didn't think a repair worker like Anya could create anything so impressive. It's amazing. That's all I can say. Do you think we can leave with this thing? I mutter as Anya shows us inside the car. We sure can. It certainly seems so. Our goal, or rather, our dream, I suppose, is to leave this city. Or to be more accurate, it's to head to my home country, which may or may not be on the other side. My friends and I have been working day in and day out towards that goal. No idea how far we'll have to go, but I made sure we can pack a lot of food and stuff. Should we bring board games and stuff too? Wouldn't it be too bumpy of a ride for board games? Oh, good point. Boy, am I tired. Time to sleep. Anya lies down on the hard concrete garage floor. I look outside the window. Sure enough, the sun's almost fully risen. Ghosts always get sleepy in the morning. They can barely stay awake up until early morning, but even that's cutting it close. No fair, me too. Pacifica lies down to the already half asleep Anya and curls up. They look so comfortable, but it makes me want to lie down. They look so comfortable. It makes me want to lie down next to them too, but there's something I have to do before that. I get the garage shutter remote, and I also pick up a thick blanket that Anya must have gotten ready for this little sleepover. Hey, come on, it's going to be cold if you just go to sleep like that. It's not like ghosts can catch colds, but they do feel cold, and even though they're wearing coats, the floor is likely to grow cold. I press the button on the remote, and the shutter shuts with a rattle. I lie down on the concrete floor and loosely spread out the blanket. Say, Anya. What? Did your boss help you? Not really. It doesn't matter either way, but huh? Are you pretending to be asleep? Well, whatever. We share our warmth underneath the blanket as we drift off to sleep. Eventually, our consciousness... That's a hard word to say. Eventually, our consciousnesses melt as we all enter one dream. If only a dream like that's more like a pipe dream. Drip. And with that last thought, I sink deep down into the ocean of sleep. My vision blurs as if crossing the surface of the water. My eyelids are heavy, so heavy they start to sink. They start to sink by themselves. But right before they close in the sliver of my dim vision, conglomerationality. Who's that? We walk around the street at night. In other words, during peak ghost activity hours. I never thought I'd walk around the streets underneath the pitch black sky again. You don't have to be so nervous, you know. Sorry, but what? I can't find the words to continue. Our conversation fades into the air like smoke. Once I finished taking a shower, Pacifica said let's go to the station. I'm not sure going there will help us prepare the welcome party for the new ghost. The fact that the station's such a faraway walk from my home doesn't help my enthusiasm either. My worst fears turn out to be accurate. Every ghost we come across gets out of the way when they see us, or rather, when they see me. And it's clearly not out of kindness, nor respect. The ghosts fear me. Complex emotions weigh down my heart. Resignation, I don't blame you. Sadness, don't look at me like that. Indignation, you're already dead, what do you even have to fear? I hate this. Unable to describe my jumbled up feelings, I say something embarrassingly ambiguous. I don't know if I should be apologizing, but I'm sorry. No, I wasn't blaming you or anything, Pacifica. Though Pacifica smiles, her eyes narrow. A sign that I haven't cleared up the misunderstanding. I curse my poor language skills. Can you hold my bag? I nod absent-mindedly and take Pacifica's handbag. The station's pretty big. It must have been an ostentatious building in its heyday. But it's hard to imagine what it used to look like now that it's an abandoned wreck. Most of the lights are broken, so it's incredibly dark inside. It's not impossible to walk here if you try hard enough, but it makes me wish I had a light. The few lights that remain intact enough are... the few lights that remain intact are enough of a hindrance that your eyes can't adjust to the darkness, so anything that's in the shadows is completely dark. Pacifica strikes a match and lights an old-fashioned lamp. Pacifica's rich enough to buy high-luminance LED lamps or expensive high-power wearable lights, or at least I think she is. But for some reason she's using a lamp. Has she always been like that? I don't remember. I feel like there's a memory that locked away somewhere in my brain. It feels odd, but it doesn't matter. The station appears to have been a terminal. At least that's the conclusion I've come to, seeing as all of the railroad tracks only come in from one direction. It seems kind of fitting for a ghost town to be a dead end. At least that's what I think. I follow behind Pacifica from the front entrance to the platforms. There's not a star to be seen in the sky above the cracked ceiling. I can see a single point of light up ahead. It sways slightly, several dozen meters ahead. There stands a young red-headed girl. Yes, she looks nothing but young. Her name is Anya, a ghost I used to be friends with just as much as Pacifica. Sorry for the wait. Doesn't matter. You sure took your time though. You run into any problems? Each time Anya's body sways, the light floating or hovering a little less than a meter above her head sways with it. I'm not sure how that thing works, but it makes her look kind of funny. It's like an angel halo. I mean, doesn't that seem funny? A ghost cosplaying as an angel. I had Sayoko take a shower. Oh, I see. I stay silent. I decide not to say anything unless spoken to. Long time no see. Yes, I guess so. Looks like I win this time. Whatever, Passy. It's not like I wanted to win anyway. And I didn't want to lose, Anster. Anster just doesn't sound right. The two of them exchange playful banter, but Anya's face looks a little stiff since I'm here. These two are my only real connection to the town. Judging from what they said, I guess the two of them were betting to see who could drag me out of my room first. But I'm not enough of an idiot that I'd say something like, "Don't use me as a pawn in your games, you two." It's necessary to just accept these sort of things if you want to revive interpersonal relationships that have remained stagnant for years, or even longer. Okay, Sayoko, let's head to the garbage dump. Ah. Why the garbage dump? I want to ask, but instead I stay silent. I don't want to disappoint them. Despite the things I say, I dream of reviving our friendship. Okay, let's go. A slight shadow seems to cast itself over Anya's face when I say that. It's a little frightening. Did I do something wrong? I guess there's no use dwelling on it. Alrighty. Anya claps her hands twice, and the float light above her head changes from an angelic halo to a shining sun. It's so bright it makes me squint. It's so bright. Maybe a little too bright? This thing's a cheap model, so it's only got 2 brightness levels. But I figure this should be plenty for picking up garbage. That's true. Good job. You're a real engineering advisor. I don't mind being an engineering advisor, but why don't you just shop around at stores? Don't you have money? Isn't it obvious? Huh? Well, I guess. Anya shrugs as Pacifica starts walking ahead. Once my eyes adjust to the light, I follow behind. So does Anya. We didn't make eye contact, but you could say we're on the same wavelength. Whenever Anya moves, her miniature sun sways, causing the shadows cast by rubble, signs, and pillars to stretch and shrink. Let me explain from the beginning. The needle on the compass points north. I know. Wow, you really know your stuff, Anastasia. Don't call me Anastasia. But that's what Anya's short for, isn't it? Hell no, don't just make stuff up. But it's cute, like you're a princess. That's exactly why I hate it. Don't you dare try to make it a thing. We quickly backtrack the way we came. Thanks to the intense light, it's much easier this time. It's still pitch black outside the station. I get a little dizzy thinking about how long the night is. Anya claps her hands twice and the light fades. The light's mechanical core plops onto the ground. What a convenient little thing. Probably too expensive for me to afford, though. Then again, I guess I can't afford anything since I don't have a job. Apparently, the new girl is being interrogated at the church. Yeah, I know. That's all we know. I'm thinking that even after she gets released, her reputation with the church will remain sensitive. And if we go shopping for her, it may sour the shop's reputations with the church. Oh. Maybe it's different with your shop, but things could get complicated with the other shops due to the church's strong influence on the economy. It's important that we care for the new girl, but we shouldn't cause trouble for other people either, right? Pacifica breaks into a smile. I like this smile way more than that flawless, forced smile she makes sometimes. Who cares? Rude. Shut up. As those two talk, we eventually reach the garbage dump. It's near the station, so it doesn't take long. Now that I know the garbage dump was our destination, I guess it makes sense why we met up in the empty station. It's the perfect meeting place for an outcast like me. It's easy to think when you don't talk. Isn't that right, Sayoko? Huh. I was just saying it's been years since we've walked around like this. I suppose so. Would you look at that? Anya's facial expression changed again, I think. I guess I can still tick her off even talking as little as possible. It's been hundreds of years, hasn't it? Has it been that long? I think so. Okay, then let's go with 9,999 years. I don't get why that clip's gotten so popular. I don't like it one bit. The conversation is reassuring in two ways. First, it's reassuring to know that my presence doesn't immediately ruin the mood. And second, it's reassuring to know that I'm not the only one who lacks a sense of time. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever heard anyone else talk about it. But maybe I just don't remember. My memory's pretty much just a vague puddle in the back of my skull. Maybe it's because it's just common knowledge. Maybe I've even forgotten what common knowledge is. Sayoko? Yes? Pacifica's voice snaps my inward-focused consciousness back to reality. When I snap back to reality, there's a tall chain-link fence standing before us. Part of it is made to open up like a door. It's the entrance to the garbage dump. It doesn't look like it's locked, so we easily get inside. It's not like this place is off limits or anything, right? Nah, garbage collection isn't like exclusive merchants or something. The boss and I come here for parts sometimes too. Huh, really? Have you been here, Sayoko? I come here occasionally. The garbage dump is the alpha and the omega of this town. From garbage you come, and to garbage you shall return. It's almost like the opposite functionality of a real garbage dump. Ghosts can't keep more than what they need. Any excess, be it accessories or furniture, suddenly disappears when forgotten. And just as suddenly, those things appear here, at the garbage dump. That's why this place might not actually be a real garbage dump. It's the same thing with ghosts. We just happen to call them that, but nobody knows if that's what they really are. But they still exist regardless. Whoa, it's so hard to find footing here. Get organized. That's a tall order for a garbage dump. Anya turns her light on again as we carefully trudge over the piles of garbage. Garbage tends to end up in clumps of related items, so with that information in mind, we look for conspicuous party goods like streamers or colored pens. I find some sort of canned fish at my feet, so I pick it up and put it in my pocket. And the can has the same sort of design as the biscuits I just ate, so maybe it's from the same manufacturer. That's right. Even food is part of the cycle. Everything, and I mean everything, cycles back around to this garbage dump. The can of biscuits we just ate is probably back here too. Biscuits and all. All of the shops Pacifica mentioned collect items from the garbage dump to process, resell. Ghosts rummage through this garbage dump and live modest lives based on their needs, just as they always have and probably how they always will too. You could say that for ghosts, this place is like a bountiful ocean. And I suppose that might be why it's relaxing to come here. Here you can find anything, as long as it's not living. I feel like I've heard something like that somewhere before. But who was it that said it again? Ah. Sayoko! I hear the clattering of metal as my body starts to feel like it's floating in the air. Though in reality, all that happened is the pile of garbage gave way and I lost my footing. Look, you gotta be careful, okay? Sorry. Unable to keep up with Anya's sudden movement, the float lamp tumbles into the garbage pile and shuts off. So not only did I lose my footing, but it's also suddenly dark, causing me to panic for a second. Anya and I are pretty much the same height, but her hands seem a little smaller than mine. I grip her hand tight and place my feet on solid ground. I keep holding her hand until my eyes get used to the dark. Sorry. You don't have to say it twice. I may have ticked Anya off again. My hands are sweating like crazy. Oh, it's the car. Pacifica murmurs. The fallen garbage reveals what was hidden underneath. Jutting out of the pile of garbage is a rusty station wagon. There's no way this is stable footing. That car thing was a whole ordeal. It took until morning to work on it that one time. Only now does Anya look me in the eyes, as if peering into them. Her green eyes glow gently like beautiful emeralds. Her hand starts to feel warm, though I guess it always was warm and I'm only now noticing it. I relax just a little bit. What car? With one careless word, I extinguish that light. The warmth in my hand quickly fades. Though that shouldn't be a surprise since she had shaken off my hand, exposing its damp surface to the cold air. Don't you remember? Even you should... No, wait, I remember. Honestly, we tried to leave by car, didn't we? I'm flustered. So flustered I get dizzy. I frantically search through my memories for what I should know, for what I shouldn't ever forget. I remember what happened in the end too. We all... You really are Sayoko, right? Of course. I'm me. I haven't changed. I'm me, I think. But am I really? There's no way that I can't be me, right? But for some reason, I'm not so confident. I'd be confident if I had something to prove my own identity, right? It's no use. My thoughts keep spilling out, like snowy sand. What, does Sayoko change into something else if you leave her alone? Like cheese? Pacifica gives off a somewhat exaggerated laugh as to say, well, she did smell like spoiled milk. If Pacifica didn't come to my rescue there, I probably would have kept on panicking forever. I'm sorry, that was really out there. No, I should apologize. We all tried to leave town together, didn't we? We used the car you remodeled. I'm sorry I keep spacing out lately. I regain enough sense to avoid talking about what happened in the end. I was able to remember. I guess memories are no exception to the rule. Everything forgotten returns to this garbage dump. Perhaps even forgotten memories. That's right! We tried to go to the other side! Pacifica points to the ever-expansive snow desert. The garbage pile is pretty high, so you can see far into the distance from here. Right. That's why Anya remodeled the car. That was amazing. Well, my boss helped me with pretty much everything for that. I guess we're not going to touch the topic of what happened afterwards at all. I guess that's for the best. I wonder if anything's on the other side. Maybe there isn't anything. Maybe there is. We'll have to go to find out. The snow desert softly sparkles as it reflects the town's lights. We all look at it silently. So, about the new girl. Pacifica breaks the silence. I hope we can get along with her. She sounds somewhat sad, but not reluctant. Lonely. Yes, that's the word. That's how I'd describe the look on her face. I'm sure she'll be nice. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Anya speaks up as if to assuage her concerns. She's got a similar look on her face. It makes me worry if I should too. There's still plenty of time before dawn. We all just sit down and gaze across the desert for a while. I can't peel my eyes off the black and white horizon. It's almost spellbinding. Maybe we're on an island. A small island in the middle of a white snow desert sea. Help isn't coming. Because beyond the sea, civilization has already fallen. Tee-hee. I smile at the strange thought. A smile of relief, even though the thought isn't relieving at all. I can sense Pacifica smiling, and eventually Anya smiles too, as if unable to handle the peer pressure. I guess it's obvious that I'm smiling, but it doesn't feel bad at all. I try to play it cool and keep staring out across the sea. The other two watch as well. It's a beautiful night. We may be sitting in piles of garbage, but it feels like a beautiful night nonetheless. About 60 out of 100. If I were to rate today, that's about how high I'd rate it. That said, I give my rating the moment I crawl into bed, so my opinion may be a little skewed. I yawn. I sit up and take a sip of water from the plastic bottle at my bedside, a bottle I just picked up earlier. The cold sensation passes down my throat and I let out another sigh. I'm too tired to even feel tired. I'm so tired of thinking. I don't even want to think about being tired of thinking. That's how pathetic I feel. We were able to pick up all sorts of party goods and load them into a bike trailer we found lying there and carry them off to Pacifica's place. Pacifica wanted to take home a small stylish sofa, but got into a little argument when Anya said it was out of the question. I wanted to reflect on what happened today, but the moment I lied down on my bed, I thought, nope, not happening. I try stretching, but to no avail. It only makes it worse, if anything. The intense sleepiness quickly crushes my consciousness. So quickly, I don't even have time to think about what crushing a consciousness means. Good night. The following is Sayoko's attempt of recalling her memories. Zzz. Okay, let's go. Oh. The red-headed girl steps on the gas. The car starts. An angry man in priest robes glares at the car from behind. I'm did two. The girl with blonde hair and the girl nuzzle their faces against each other. They're very close with each other. And look, the town's... Zzz. Another memory. In the middle of the snow desert. 3 girls. Who? So, behind... Why would... Gunshot. Next? Sorry, but you gotta... Quick, or... gunshot. Yet another memory. An awfully vague one. Zzz. The black-haired girl arrives at the middle of the plaza, dragging 2 corpses behind her. The corpse of the blonde girl and the red-headed girl. Someone! Please! Help! A crowd gathers in the blink of an eye. Brawny men surround the black-haired girl. The red-headed girl and the blonde girl arrive on the scene, perhaps having revived at the garbage dump. The crowd makes way. The red-headed girl vomits. The blonde girl pats her on the back and breaks down crying. The corpses wither away without a sound. They mummify and fast forward, leaving nothing but bones. The men lunge at the black-haired girl. Zzz. End of memory. The plaza is covered in the blood of ghosts. That's apparently what happens to ghosts when they die. Their fleeting corpses quickly begin to wither away. They grow cold from the head down. I can't believe the beast-like roar coming out of my own mouth. Even if I try to keep it in check, the rough breathing keeps spilling out. It irritates me. In retaliation, I trample on one of the broken-necked corpses at my feet. The barely intact neck makes a nice squishing sound when I stomp it through onto the ground. I look up to see Pacifica and Anya staring blankly at me. Their eyes are empty, as if they're not even looking at anything. My mind is completely blank, but I do know that I've lost everything. I try to escape. I turn my back to them and try to run away. And right behind me stands an unfamiliar girl. You must be lonely. Lonely. That's what the girl said. That's the one word I wanted to say more than anyone else. I feel as if I cried. Maybe I really did cry this time. But before I can check, the dream ends. And that's the end of the first episode of Ghostpia Season 1. Like I said, it really is more like an anime with still pictures than a visual novel. I do enjoy the story, and I do want to see where it goes, though. And I like that they have like a little end credits sequence here. It is kind of interesting. I did notice on Twitch that they're drawn with 3 fingers instead of 4. And I do like that they blink in some of their quote-unquote still shots. But yeah, that was episode 1. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. And next time, we'll get to episode 2. No, we don't need to do episode 3 yet. But I will see you all in the next one. Bye!